Texas Rep. Pat Fallon dumped Microsoft stock before Pentagon nixed a $10 billion Jedi contract. And no, this isn't Star Wars. But basically, this can be seen in the eyes of many as insider trading. So let's get into this story because this is going to be probably pretty interesting. So a congressman who supervises the Defense Department's tech spending dumped up to $250,000 worth of Microsoft stock 2 weeks before the Pentagon revealed it was canceling a $10 billion contract with the software giant, according to public documents. Now, what I'm kind of interested in, right, is he's a congressman. How much is he getting paid per year, right? Because to have $250,000 in a single stock, like Microsoft stock, is pretty hard to do, regardless of who you are, right? That's a lot of money. So what is his income per year, and how much money can he actually allocate to more risky investments when it comes to like individual stocks, right? So the U.S. Rep. Pat Fallon, a Texas Republican who sits on a key subcommittee overseeing the Department of Defense's technology policy, sold between $100,000 and $250,000 in Microsoft shares on June 21st, government disclosures show. And then 2 weeks later, the Pentagon made the surprise announcement that it would cancel a $10 billion cloud computing contract called JEDI, or Joint Enterprise Defense Infrastructure, that it had awarded to Microsoft in 2019 after the company fought a bidding war and legal battle against Amazon. So Fallon, who was elected last year to represent a northeastern district of the Lone Star State, is a member of the House's Subcommittee on Cyber, Innovative Technologies, and Information Systems. According to the subcommittee site, Fallon and his colleagues have jurisdiction over Department of Defense policy related to the acquisition of computer software. So if members of the Congress or their families trade stocks based on non-public information, they can be prosecuted under the Stock Act passed in 2012. Now, I probably made something or talked about this before, but like it's basically like a joke, right? Like, yeah, every single one of these like government officials that have inside information that like trade stocks based off this like non-disclosed information, basically every single one of them gets like a slap on the wrist. So no, they don't really get prosecuted. They just literally get a slap on the wrist and also maybe a lollipop, right? Like a free lollipop. Like it's depressing when you really think about it. So in an audio recording that Fallon's press secretary, Luke Ball, sent to the Post, the congressman said the trades were actually part of a bet that Microsoft stock would go up. On May 26, he said he bought 1,000 shares of Microsoft stock at $250.91. He said he then sold an option called a covered call to another investor and was paid $5,041 in return. The option was called about 3 to 4 weeks later, and at that moment I no longer owned, and the other people made the money from the stock rising. I no longer owned Microsoft stock, Fallon said. Fallon added that if he were aware of the Pentagon's intention to cancel the JEDI deal, he would have bet on Microsoft stock falling rather than rising. Now here's the thing. It doesn't matter how, it should not matter, I should say, how someone trades. The thing is, no government official should ever be investing in individual stocks in companies, in industries that they are, perusing non-public information of, right? Now, it makes perfect sense if he were to do like $100,000 or the $250,000 in like an index fund in his sector, right? In the tech space, cyberspace, that kind of stuff, right? That would make perfect sense. And he's like, okay, I work in this field. It makes sense to put more money into this field on a whole, right? Because you're not individually picking things. That being said, as soon as you pick like an individual stock, and your job is a government official within this category, and you're going to see information, you're going to hear information that the common person most likely will not be privy to, that is an issue, right? And there's so many government officials trading based off that information. They could be trading bad, right? That doesn't matter. But they're trading based off information that is not readily available to the common investor. And that's what's disturbing about this. So no government official should ever be investing into individual stocks, ever. So this person says, if I had prior knowledge, why would I have bought this stock and only option it upward and only bet on an upward trend? Fallon said, I would have done the reverse, so it's probably false. So a Columbia law professor and securities law expert Joshua Mitz told the Post that the $5,041 payment Fallon received in exchange for the covered call may have been intended to help cover his losses if Microsoft stock fell. It sounds consistent with someone who thinks the stock price will potentially fall in the future, Mitz said. That would be consistent potentially with someone who had negative information. Craig Holman, a governmental ethics lobbyist at progressive group Public Citizen, said it was likely that Fallon's membership of the subcommittee meant he knew the Pentagon planned to cancel the Microsoft contract when he sold his shares. Now, the decision to cancel the Microsoft contract did not happen overnight. That's something the Department of Defense would be considering for weeks and weeks. He added, it certainly is reasonable to suspect that the Department of Defense would have informed this committee of their impending decision. Now, it has every appearance the congressman had access to non-public information and cashed in on it, he added. Now, in a statement, Fallon spokesman Ball countered any accusation that Congressman Fallon acted inappropriately with his routine stock transactions is widely speculative and has no foundation in truth. We challenge anyone to bring one shred of actual evidence to back up this ridiculous accusation. And it's not the first time that Fallon, sworn in just 6 months ago, has lain in hot water over his stock trades. In June, Insider reported that Fallon potentially violated federal ethics laws by failing to disclose up to $17 million in stock trades within 30 days of making them. At the time, a spokesperson for Fallon claimed the congressman was unfamiliar with how frequently members of Congress are required to file financial disclosures, and Fallon would comply with disclosure rules in the future, the rep added. And again, $17 million in stock trades. Like, dude, how much money are you making? Like, what the hell? So other U.S. lawmakers who have caught scrutiny over stock trades include House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, whose husband frequently trades big tech shares, and Senator Ron Wyden, who pushed legislation to boost the nation's semiconductor industry while his wife bought stock in companies that stood to benefit. So to prevent potential conflicts of interest, Holman said all members of Congress and their immediate families should be banned from trading individual stocks. And I agree with this, right? I believe every single person that's a government official that is privy to information that the public is not privy to at the same time should not be investing into individual stocks, period. So this is a classic example of why members of Congress should not be actively trading in the stock market while they sit in office, especially in stocks of businesses that they oversee in their subcommittee positions, Holman said. While Fallon's sale of Microsoft stock may raise ethical questions, it did not appear to save him much money, and Microsoft stock fell about 0.4% on news of the Jedi contract being canceled and has since rebounded. So on the day Fallon sold his Microsoft shares, the stock was trading at $262.63 and has since risen nearly 8% to $282.95 according to MarketWatch data. Feel free to give your thoughts either way. No matter how you look at it, this can be viewed in the eyes of someone conducting insider trading. Now, he could, again, be trading super badly, but, I mean, it doesn't look good for an individual who is in a, working in a government sector, right, that deals with cyber stuff, that ends up investing on cyber companies, right? It's just so, it doesn't look good. Even if he, traded badly, it still doesn't look good. And it's just, no government official should ever be getting involved in individual stocks, right? Because not only that, that might sway where you put more of your effort in, right? Because are you really going to like push for something that might cause you to lose millions and millions of dollars? No, you're not going to do that. The natural reaction for any normal human being would be like, no, I'm not going to purposely do something that's going to harm me, right? That's why getting involved into individual stocks, one, is just more risky, but two, it's just not good for someone in a government position to be doing that.